Okay, I'm going to start with the rules of basic formations. Here we have a line formation that everybody is just in a line with the skirmishers in front, and the standard bearer is one of the two middle ones. You can pick which one you want, but it's always supposed to be in the middle. This formation can only move 4 inches. Okay? Now we've got the maneuver column formation. You have the standard bearer in the front and the middle, and then everything else around it, and the skirmishers in the middle. This can move 6 inches. You have a, no matter what the formation, and I'm just going over infantry right now, if you're in rough or difficult terrain, their movement is reduced to 4 inches, so you might as well be in a line. Column really doesn't help you. And then if you're in a march formation where you have the flag in the front, you got a skirmisher in the front, skirmisher in the back, and everybody else is behind, you can go 8 inches as long as you're on a road. Really, the march column is just so that you can stay on the road. You won't be able to fit on the road. You have to be completely on the road in the beginning and the end of the movement in order to benefit from the 8 inches. So it's very restricted. Okay, here we have a situation where the British are here and then the French are here. And I'm going to go over a couple of concepts that are very important to Napoleon at war. Committed and engaged. If you are in the firing arc of somebody, you are engaged. So whether, as long as they can shoot at you, you're engaged, and your movement is restricted, as we'll see later. There's also committed. If you're within 6 inches of any unit, then you are committed. Okay? Now you measure from the unit, not from the skirmishers. Also, another rule is that you cannot be within 4 inches, so we've got to push figures back so that they're at 4 inches or further. Okay, here's where those things become important. Now we have some French infantry, and they are neither engaged or committed. They're outside 6 inches, and nobody can fire at them. So what they can do is called a maneuver move. And a maneuver move, basically, they're in line formation. I want to turn them into column formation to benefit from their higher speed. So I put them into column formation. And then I take the front piece. Let's see, I'll move it over here. And then I will place them here. And then I take the rest of the unit and put them around. And as long as I'm outside 6 inches, let me make sure I'm outside 6, which I'm not even close. As long as I'm outside 6 inches, I can move the direction and then turn the front so I can wheel. That is called a maneuver move. As long as I am not committed or engaged, and then I end my move outside being committed or engaged, it's a free maneuver. I move, and then I can twist my standard bearer to face whatever direction I want. Now let's say it's the next turn, and I want to move closer. I want, right now I'm neither committed or engaged, and I want to get into position to charge. What I have to do, since I'm moving into that position, in order to move here and then turn, let's see, I want to get a flank maneuver, so I would like to go here and then turn. Okay? And I have to stay outside 4 inches. That's not going to happen. Okay, so I'm outside 4 inches. In order to do that, I have to do what's called a complex move. Okay, now in order to do a complex move, I look at the discipline score. Now each unit has a valor and discipline. So you have 3 levels on each one, and basically the lowest level you have to roll 5 or better, medium level is 4 or better, and the lowest level is a 3 or better. So when you are looking at the valor, you have insecure, which is the low level, 5 or greater. You have courageous, which is 4 or better, and then you have the brave, which is 3 or less. Right now we're looking at discipline. Discipline, we have elite, which is the best, that's 3 or greater. We have drilled, which is 4 or greater, and then we have raw, which is 5 or greater. So let's say this is a discipline. If we were to roll a 1, 2, or 3, then we have to revert to a simple move, which means that if we moved in this direction, now everything will go around it like so. Okay? If we get a 4, 5, or 6, then we can turn this sideways, and then everybody will just wrap around. Let me get these guys out of here. We'll just wrap these guys around so that we can get a flank charge. Okay? Alright, so one concept I wanted to go over was the flank shot, because we're moving here with the flank with the complex move. If we draw a line in front of the unit here, the enemy, and we go straight across that line, we have half or more of our bases on the other side of that line. They have to be completely over, can't be partial. Then you have a flank shot or a flank charge. Okay, so now we're within 6 inches, so we're considered committed. So if we wanted to move again, we can move our 6 inches, but whatever direction that we move, and let's say we move this way, now we can't turn that flag. Now we're facing a different direction. That's called a simple move, and we're required to do that because we're committed. We're within 6 inches of another unit. Okay, so those are 3 maneuvers. You had the maneuver move, the complex move, and then the simple move. Now one last thing, just like with Flames of War, you got to stay outside a certain amount of inches. Flames of War is just 2 inches, but for Napoleon at war, it's actually 4 inches. So, I kind of messed up the maneuver, but you get the idea. Is as long as you stay outside 4 inches, you got to stay outside 4 inches at all times, or at 4 inches, and that's your zone of control, the bubble of 4 inches all around. You can't enter unless you're charging, which I'll go over another time.